So I just got back from the brand new Ryan Reynolds film, Free Guy. So what I think about it? Well, let's talk about it.
This whole good guy routine is ruining the game. Terminator.
It's the first time I've ever driven a car before.
I really wish you'd mention that.
Yeah.
So I had an absolute blast with Free Guy. Is it the perfect film of the year? Is it the most technically well-made film with the most deepest characters and themes? No, it's not. It's just a really fun comedy that happens to be a movie that came out in the year 2021. Now, this film isn't perfect. It's not the best film ever made. It's not the best comedy or anything. But in terms of just fun experiences of the year, it's really fun. Ryan Reynolds just basically plays every single character in pretty much every movie he's in, but he's fun, charming, and really likable. The rest of the cast is also really fun, from just the main actors and to the surprise YouTube cameos, which were a lot of fun as well. And since this film is a comedy, how is the humor of this film? The film is really funny. Not every joke landed, but something that this film surprisingly gets right, and something that surprisingly other comedies just completely fail at, is timing. Even if your joke is extremely funny, if the timing of the joke or how you present the joke isn't, your joke is going to really fall flat. And while there was a couple times where the joke's timing wasn't that great, there's one scene in particular that I won't spoil, but just try to explain it the best I can without spoiling. There's quite a bit of cameos in this film, mostly from YouTubers, but there's one cameo, again I'm not going to spoil, that I did not expect. There's an action sequence between Ryan Reynolds and the buff Ryan Reynolds that we see in the trailers, and there's this great brief cameo that happens, again not going to spoil it, that was probably the funniest scene in the film because the timing of that sequence was so good. Also, what I loved about the film is when there's a joke, they don't really continuous trying to explain the joke. They say a joke, and then just move on. And if you laughed, you laughed. If they don't, they don't. There's one or two times, especially with a certain famous weapon, that just they kind of went on and on and on about the joke. And I'm like, okay, I get it. It's funny, but can we just kind of move it along? Also, this film was extremely just fun. I can't help but say it's just an extremely fun film. And why I do love films that go deep and with themes and ideas, it kind of sucks a lot of the days that a lot of films, mostly comedies as well, try to have more deep themes, and why this film definitely does have a message and a theme it wants to get across, which it does in a pretty well fashion. The film is just a fun, enjoyable film from start to finish. It's extremely enjoyable, well-paced, well-edited. The visual effects are surprisingly spectacular. There's only one visual effect that just doesn't look that great, and that's obviously the buff Ryan Reynolds. But to be honest, I don't know if it's supposed to look good because it's a program that hasn't been fully finished yet. So I don't know if it's supposed to look really weird. It doesn't look bad by any means, but it just kind of has this uncanny value that just doesn't really look that great. And this film is extremely fun. The hardcore gamers will find some of the references fun. There's some movie references in there. Taika Waititi is pretty fun as the villain. This is just an extremely fun and enjoyable film. Some problems I have with the film is extremely predictable. Every single beat that you expect the film to hit, it pretty much hits. And that doesn't mean the film's bad, that just means the film is quite predictable. And also, the story and plot is pretty predictable. Oh, the villain have something launch in a couple hours and it's going to destroy the world. It's a pretty simple and basic plot that we've seen over and over and over again. But the film was so fun and enjoyable that I kind of just didn't really mind it. Overall, Free Guy was an extremely fun experience. Could this film age poorly as time goes by? To be honest, maybe as certain rewatches the film could be less funny, but this was an extremely funny, fresh film, and to be honest, it kind of reminded me of a better version of Ready Player One. And why I did not hate Ready Player One, there were some cool ideas, but a lot of the ideas that could have been cool were just kind of thrown off to the side and didn't kind of execute as well as I wanted it to. And why this film doesn't have as much references or pop culture stuff, there was some really fun gaming and movie references that I think the film handled much better than Ready Player One. And I know this film is not Ready Player One, and in terms of direction and cinematography and acting, Ready Player One is probably better, but I'm just saying the film's very much similar, had kind of some similarity to it. Overall, Free Guy was an extremely fun experience. Is it perfect? No. Is sometimes the pacing a bit weird? Sure, but I'm gonna give Free Guy a B+. I had an extremely fun time with this film, and I think guys should go see it. I think it's an extremely fun time, and the crowd that I saw with was just having an absolute blast. Those are my thoughts on the new Ryan Reynolds film, Free Guy, what do you think of this? Let us know all your guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. If you guys like, hit the like button and subscribe and hit that post notification bell so you guys never miss when I upload another video. Check my podcast I do with a friend of mine. It's called Movie Podcast. And you guys can check out my Instagram, which I post every single day, every single hour. Thank you so much for watching, and keep talking movies.